procedures that will follow for tonight's meeting.
Good evening, and welcome to tonight's meeting of the Town of Babylon Zoning Board of Appeals. The following is the procedure that will be followed tonight. The matters will be called in the order they appear on the calendar, with adjourned matters being called at the end of the regularly scheduled matters. Matters cannot be heard prior to their published scheduled time. When your matter is called, please submit the affidavit of posting to the secretary and proceed to the podium and give your name and address. The chairperson will then swear you in and read into the record information we have from your application, comments from various town departments, and any correspondence received on your application. The chairperson will then ask you to make whatever presentation you wish to make to the board. After you have made your presentation, the board will ask whatever questions the board deems appropriate, and then we will ask for comments from the public. If you wish to speak for or against an application, we ask that you wait until you're acknowledged. Come forward, give us your name and address, tell us where your property is in relation to the property that's in question tonight, and then please direct your comments to the board, not the applicant or the applicant's representative. We have to keep a record, and we cannot do that if there are people talking over each other or cross conversations. If someone has spoken for or against an application, and they have said exactly the same thing that you wish to say, it will have the same force and effect in the record if you give your name and address, are sworn in, and say that you join in those comments. If you have anything additional to say, please don't hesitate to do so, but keep in mind that you will be given only one opportunity to speak. After the public has spoken, the board may ask the applicant to come back to answer any questions that may have come up as a result of the public comments, or for the applicant to summarize. When the applicant comes back to answer any additional questions, if that happens, that does not start a second round of public comments. Once the matter has been heard, various things may occur. The board may decide the application immediately. It may reserve decision. If the board reserves decision, that does not mean the matter is approved or denied. It just means that the board needs more time to decide, may want to go out and look at the site again, or might want to review the documents and testimony further before making a decision. In either event, the applicant will receive the board's decision in writing shortly after the board makes its decision. If the application is approved, that does not mean that you can then go ahead and start construction or whatever it is that you requested from the board. You will have to wait for the building permit to be obtained from the building department before your go-ahead. On some occasions, the matter may be continued for another night. If it is continued, in most cases it will be for the submission of documents, a new survey, new plans, or something of that nature. If that's the case, no one needs to come back on the new date. The documents will be submitted and no further testimony will be taken. On rare occasions, a matter may be continued for future testimony. If that's the case, then people would have to come back to testify. If matters are adjourned at an open meeting on the scheduled date of hearing, no further notice need be given unless specifically required by the board on the date the adjournment is granted. 3 rules that may affect your ability to proceed tonight. 1. If the sign was not posted for 10 days, we cannot hold the hearing tonight. 2. If you commence this proceeding while you own the property, but no longer own the property, and you are here now to continue with the application, you will need either the written consent of the new owner or the new owner to be present for the hearing. This situation could come about if you sold your house or building, money was held in escrow at closing for a certificate of occupancy or permit, and you're here tonight to clear that up. Lastly, if your application is a commercial application, and it's other than a renewal, and there is more than one tenant in the building, then you need your landlord to be here. Is there any applicant that has any difficulty with those situations and would need an adjournment tonight?
Is there anyone that would need an adjournment? Please rise and join the board in the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. First application is application 23-165 of Town of Babylon, Department of Planning and Development, property located in Wyandanch.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. Rachel Shelfo, Planning Commissioner for the Town of Babylon, on behalf of the applicants, Town of Babylon and WR Communities, LLC.
Okay, for the record, we have a Planning Division memo dated October 6, 2023, Environmental Control memo dated October 10, 2023. If approved, this application will not result in significant impact. A survey by, who was it by? Lawrence Yen Kuo, dated February 13th, 2023, tax map acting as an area map.
And Mr. Chairman, we have a copy of the covenants and restrictions at issue.
Okay. What would you like to tell us about the application?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is a town-sponsored application to lift previously imposed CNRs relating to property located at 300 Long Island Avenue in Wyandanch. The parcel at issue is tax map 57, block 1, lot 45.002, formerly known as lot 33.001. These are CNRs that were imposed in connection with a previous auto body use that was located on the southeast corner of Long Island Avenue and Straight Path. That building has since been demolished as part of the Wyandanch Rising redevelopment, so this use is actually no longer there. So with that being said, you might be wondering why we're here lifting these covenants. So at the closing for Building L, with the Albanese organization, the title company, the bank, they wanted these covenants to be lifted, feeling it was the cleaner way to sort of handle it. So the town at that time agreed to lift all the covenants and restrictions that had been old and existing on these parcels. The buildings have all been demolished. However, the uses have all been gone. So this is actually the third board that I'm appearing for. Yours were the most straightforward. The covenants were imposed back in 1992 relating to auto body shops. They were your standard 13 covenants that this board always imposes with auto repair shops. And it was job number 92-335 of Robert Ehrlich, 300 Long Island Avenue. And like I said, that use is no longer present. This is a cleanup matter, a cleanup application where we are lifting those covenants in accordance with the redevelopment of this entire block.
Okay. Any questions from the board? Would anyone like to be heard on this application? For the record, there are none. I'll make a motion to... we have to wait for Suffolk County Planning. Sorry.
That's okay. Thank you very much.
So we're going to close the hearing and reserve decision, keep the record open. Okay. Next application is application 23-126 of Dashow Cleaning Services, LLC, property located in North Babylon. Name and address for the record.
27 Paul Court, North Babylon. But I just want to say, my architect is coming. He just got stuck in traffic, but he said he's almost there.
Okay, so you can have a seat, and we'll recall your application when they get here.
Okay, thank you.
All right? Okay, this guy's an address. Sheet. Next application is application 23-172 of Haran Sheikh, property located in Deer Park. Name and address for the record.
Yeah, my name is Naj Shehzai. The address is 34 West 22nd Street, New York, Deer Park, New York, 11729.
So are you the applicant for this? Or?
I am representing the...
Okay, so you're you're presenting for him.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Do you affirm to tell the truth?
Yes, I do.
For the record, we have a Planning Division memo dated October 6th, 2023, Environmental Control Memo dated October 10, 2023. If approved, this application will not result in significant impact. Survey by Statewide Land Surveying dated April 5th, 2022. Tax map acting as an area map, and
Mr. Chairman, we have 4 photos and a survey updated September 19, 2023.
what would you like to tell us about the application?
Yeah, the deck was already there, so when the house was purchased, and we applied for the permit for the basement, so this issue comes up later on.
Okay, before we go any further, we need to amend the variances on number 1. It's going to eliminate West 22nd Street. And on number 3, we're just going to eliminate that variance altogether. First one's an amendment to the...
Amendment to
yeah.
Lake Avenue.
Yeah, to Lake Avenue, I'm sorry, yeah. And the second one is just totally deleted, okay. I make a motion on those 2?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Turn the hearing over to Mr. Kretschmer.
And what brings you here this evening? Are you renovating the home or you just purchased it?
He just purchased it, the new owner. Yeah, he purchased it and he renovated and he finished the basement. So he applied for the basement to finish the basement.
So he applied for a permit to
Yeah,
finish,
we did, yeah.
the basement for a living area, not an apartment or anything like that, or kitchen or anything?
No.
And he's going to live in this home, or is this a
Yeah,
home
he's
for
living in the
resale?
house. No, he's living in there.
So he's
Already living in there, yeah.
okay, because I noticed there were new bay windows in the front, and so there was some renovations. It didn't look like anyone was occupying the home at this point, but he is living there?
Yes.
Oh, okay. All right. You agreed to the condition that the deck not be further enclosed?
Yeah.
Okay, they're not going to enclose?
No,
The deck
no,
that's there,
no.
they're not going to enclose it and make it
No,
an
no.
additional living area?
No, no.
Okay. I have no further questions, Mr. Chairman.
Any other questions from the board? Would anyone like to be heard on this application? For the record, there are none. Okay. We're going to close the hearing, reserve decision, keep the record open for Suffolk County Planning memo.
You understand, we're waiting for Suffolk County to send a memo about the property. And then, so we're going to close
Okay,
and wait for that
You
document.
don't have to do anything else. That's,
Okay.
it'll come to us, and then we can move the application.
okay.
All right?
You'll get an email.
All right, thank you.
All right,
Okay.
thank you.
Next application is application 23-141 of Moses Altrak, property located in Wheatley Heights. Name and address for the record.
My name is Moses Latreche, and the address is 6 Spring Street, Wheatley Heights.
Okay. And do you affirm to tell the truth?
Yes, sir, I do.
For the record, we have a Planning Division memo dated October 6, 2023. Environmental Control memo dated October 10, 2023. If approved, this application will not result in significant impact. A survey by William Hogan dated May 24, 2023. Tax map acting as an area map. And
Mr. Chairman, we have 10 photos and a floor plan dated 5/1/23. And I don't see, by Leon Jaskowski. I apologize. Licensed professional engineer.
would like to tell us about the application.
Yes, sir. The application is for demolish of the front side back rear side entrance from 12 feet to 7.5 feet for a side entrance to the basement, and the rear demolish of the rear backyard setback from 40 feet to 27 feet for an existing egress window well, and a lift on the covenant that was set when the house was made.
Okay, so when the house was just purchased, or
No, I've had the house for about 12 years now.
12 years?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And there was a covenants and restriction that you didn't know about?
Yes, sir, that's the case.
Were you represented by attorney at the closing?
Yes, sir, I was.
And
But
nobody
there was
picked-
I didn't have any closing document regarding the covenant with the town.
So nobody picked this up?
No, sir.
Let me ask you this, is there an apartment down in the basement?
No, sir, we use it for recreational purposes.
So there was some question about that, and so there isn't, and there never has been an apartment down the basement?
No, we've had it for roughly about 2 years now, sir. It was an unfinished basement. We finished it 2 years ago,
But
roughly.
it's just a finished basement? It's just a big open
finished-
space, basically?
It's just a finished basement.
Is there a kitchen in the basement?
There was a kitchen in the basement. I was told I wasn't supposed to do that, so I removed it.
That's gone. How about a bathroom?
There is a bathroom, sir.
Okay. The kitchen was removed.
Is there an inspection done that the kitchen was removed?
Yes, sir, there was.
In the bathroom, it's two-piece, three-piece?
Three-piece.
Three?
Yes, sir.
When was the basement entrance constructed?
2 years ago.
3 years ago?
2,
2 years ago?
yes.
With no permit or anything, just...
No, sir, I didn't even know I had to get a permit. I was a first-time home buyer.
So did you get a copy of this memo that was on the
Yes,
front?
yes, I have it.
So down, I don't know, about halfway down the page there, at the last sentence on that paragraph, for the applicant's own knowledge, an application would need to be submitted to the planning board for the lifting of those covenants and restrictions.
Yes.
You know
Yes.
about that?
Yes, I was made aware of that recently.
You're aware of that, okay. So the cellar entrance was always existing, you didn't put it in?
No, we put it in 2 years ago.
Oh, we put it in 2 years ago.
Yeah. Put it in 2 years ago, and this is a result of a complaint about basement.
Okay. Any other questions from the board?
Has there been a final inspection to inspect that the kitchen has been removed?
No, not yet. We were going, the building department asked me to go through zoning first before we had a final inspection.
Would anyone like to be heard on this application? For the record, there are none. So we're going to close the hearing. We're going to reserve decision. You got to get that application to the planning board, and we need a final inspection scheduled, and we'll keep the record open for that.
Okay.
Have a good evening.
Thank you. Have a nice evening, everyone.
Thank you.
Next application is application 23170 of Robert Brownicati, property located in North Babylon. Name and address for the record, please.
Robert Brancardi, 55 Prairie Drive, North Babylon.
And do you affirm to tell the truth?
Yes.
For the record, we have a Planning Division memo dated October 6, 2023. Environmental Control memo dated October 10, 2023. If approved, this application will not result in significant impact. A survey by Christopher Henn dated November 23, 2022. Tax map acting as an area map. And
Mr. Chairman, we have 8 photos and a drawing on the existing deck and garage for the residents from Apple Expediting Corporation, dated 7/3/23.
okay. Would you like to tell us about the application?
Yeah, okay. I have my representative here,
Oh,
so
okay.
she'd like to speak for me, okay? Thank you.
Name and address for the record.
Good evening. Kelly Bennett, 1257 Udall Road, Bay Shore, New York, 11706.
And you affirm to tell the truth?
Yes, I do.
Okay, what would you like to tell us about the application?
Here tonight with Robert, the property owner, there were 2 items, a garage and shed, that needed to be maintained. These items came up at the property closing. There was a sale. The lot is a very narrow 40-foot lot, so we have an existing shed that's just 5 inches off the property line instead of the required 2 feet. And then we have our existing garage, which is creating our second area variance. So these structures have been there, again, for quite some time from previous owners. The goal would be to relocate the shed if it fell into any kind of disrepair. However, we do understand if the board would rather it be relocated to the 2 feet.
Turn the hearing over to Mr. Shepherd.
How are you? So yeah, can the shed be moved over?
Do you feel like, is there any issue with the foundation?
I believe that it's possible. It's not going to be easy, but I believe it's possible, yes.
All right, and the garage, does it contain any heating or plumbing?
No heating or plumbing in the garage.
Electric?
Outlets.
Yeah, there's electricity.
Okay, all right. I have no further questions, Mr. Chairman.
Any other questions from the board? Would anyone like to be heard on this application? For the record, there are none. I'm good.
Yeah.
We're good.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion to approve application 23-170 with the condition that the shed ever should come down or be relocated, be put in a conforming location.
Second.
And no garage, no heating.
Yes, and also a condition is no plumbing or heating.
No heating or
In the
plumbing in the
garage.
garage.
If I move the shed,
If it ever falls into disrepair, you replace it,
there's the shed.
correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
but
right now
it
it's
stays
okay.
as- Oh, thank you.
If it needs to be rebuilt.
Yeah. If
In the
if
future.
anything happens
Oh,
to it.
Sure. Thank you very much.
It's in pretty decent shape at this point.
Hopefully it stays that way.
We got a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, good luck.
Thank you.
Got no clue here.
Think I'll make a mention. Oh, you're in for a treat, baby.
Next application is application 23-167. Property located in Lindenhurst.
Good evening. My name is Kenya Marmo, and I'm here with the owner. This is for the address 95 Sherbrooke Road in Lindenhurst.
Okay. And so you're representing the owner?
Yes, I represent the contractor that he contracted to do the cellar entrance.
Okay. Do you, I need a name and address.
Yes, so it's for the property or for the...
For you.
Oh, okay, sorry. Galaxy Home Improvement, 20 West Sunrise Highway.
Okay, and you affirm to tell the truth?
Yes, I do. My name is Kenya, Kenia.
Okay. And the same address?
Yes,
Okay.
I do.
Okay, for the record, we have a planning division memo dated October 6, 2023. A zoning board, case number 11098, was approved based upon plans submitted and considered by the board with condition that the front porch not be enclosed. Department of Environmental Control, October 10, 2023, if approved, this application will not result in significant impact. Survey by William Hogan dated 5/10/22. Tax map acting as an area map, and
And Mr. Chairman, we have 5 photographs and a set of plans, drawings for the basement floor plan, drawn by registered architect Rodrigo Torres, dated 4/20/23. 2 sets.
what would you like to tell us about the application?
Okay, so what he's doing is trying to do a cellar entrance. We are trying to diminish the front yard setback from 30 to 29 in order to do the cellar entrance.
Okay, turn the hearing over to Mr. Rigney.
So what is the need for the cellar entrance?
He would like to have better access from the backyard to the basement, like he needs to bring anything that's heavy or laundry, or if he wants to bring any machine, he would like to have better access.
Would an egress window be any benefit opposed to the cellar entrance? Can we put an egress window where,
We can put an egress window.
so would you agree to put an egress window opposed to a cellar entrance?
Do you think? Yes, no problem.
Yes?
Yes.
So then we would delete this variance. You wouldn't need this then if you're gonna do an egress window.
The egress,
Conforming, yeah.
the egress window, let me show it to you. Oh, I don't have the plans with me. I think, so you better have a door. You'd like to have a door to have access to the side. He preferred to have the door.
He wants a cellar entrance?
Yes,
Now, will the basement remain unfinished?
yes, unfinished.
And what's gonna be in the basement?
Laundry room, the boiler, and just the basic stuff and
No
things that he would
future
like to bring.
apartments? No, it's not gonna be finished?
No,
It's
it's
gonna
not.
remain unfinished?
It's gonna remain unfinished.
Okay. Can this be located in the rear of the house?
On the other side,
If it's located in the rear of the house, we wouldn't need to have this variance. Where you guys are proposing to put this is what sets
on,
the variance. If it's,
I think it was his, it was his idea just to have it there, I don't know. But we can change the
if
location,
it go
it's
in the
not.
rear of the house?
Sure.
If it goes in the rear of the house, it would eliminate this variance.
Can we change the location? Yeah, I don't think there will be a problem.
No problem.
Yeah.
Any place possible, I just need access. Can in the back.
Okay, we're gonna close the hearing, we're gonna reserve decision, we're gonna keep the record open. Just wanna take another look at this and make sure everything is good, but if you agree to put the cellar entrance in the rear, I guess we're gonna need an updated plan showing that.
Sure.
Yeah, that too.
That won't be a problem, yeah.
Okay, would anyone like to be heard on this application?
No.
No, okay. All right, so we're going to close the hearing, reserve decision, keep the record open, and we need a new plan showing the cellar entrance in the rear instead of in the front, on the side, rather. Okay?
No problem.
All
Thank
right,
you, Your
thank you.
Honor.
Thank you so much.
Have a good evening. John, baby.
She's ready.
Oh, my gosh.
Number 2. Okay, I'll recall application 23-126 of Thou Shalt Cleaning Services LLC, property located in North Babylon.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Name and address for the record, please.
Me first, or?
You
Go ahead.
go
Duchard-
first.
Okay. Duchard Rosenberg, 27 Paul Court, North Babylon, New York, 11703.
Okay, sir.
The Weston Jarrett, 11439, 221st Street in Cambria Heights, New York, 11411.
Okay, and do you both affirm to tell the truth?
Yes.
Okay. For the record, we have a planning division memo dated, excuse me, August 16, 2023. Environmental control memo dated October 10, 2023. If approved, this application will not result in significant impact. Survey by Jason Leadingham dated January 15, 2021. Tax map acting as an area map. And
Mr. Chairman, we have 12 photographs and a plot plan with the scope of work from Edward Dickman, architect, dated July 7, 2022.
Okay. What would you like to tell us about the application?
Well, we have some more documents here to indicate the result of where the entrance stair to the cellar is. Basically, it's at the side of the building. It was supposed to be further back in the rear, but there's a shed that's blocking the entrance there, so it's best in the front. But the problem that the zoning board have is not 10 feet away from the property line. It's only 7 feet 2 inches. And the owner is here to tell you that there's a stair is existing, and she would like to have it there.
Okay, I'll turn the hearing over to Mr. Shepherd.
So, there's an awning in the back also?
Yes.
Okay.
The awning is in the back. We are filing for that to be maintained. So
Okay.
we have drawings, yes.
And how did this come about? How did this application, how did you wind up here? What
Well,
brought you here tonight?
the first time I came by myself, I explained myself, that's my first time. And I was scheduled just to have a little talk with Katie, that young lady over there, and we spoke about it. And she said that I didn't explain it well to you guys, so to come back here again to re-explain myself again.
So what brought you here before that?
I
What
was-
initiated this?
Well, I had the
I think it was the plan examiner, not the plan examiner, the inspector.
the inspector
Yeah.
sent me here.
What was the
because-
inspection for? I'm sorry to interrupt.
Oh, the inspector came for the cellar entrance. So he sent me here, he said he doesn't see anything harm with it. He said, you know, because it's fenced area, it's not gonna be a problem, but he said that, but I still have to send you to zoning because of the numbers.
But was
It
there a
said-
complaint? Did somebody call and complain, which is why the
Nobody
inspector
called the
came?
complaints and everything.
So an inspector just showed up to your house and this transpired?
No, he
So
come.
that's what we're trying to
He
figure
had a
out.
problem with the previous guy that I hired. So he was a bit upset the way he was showing, because when I called him to do the inspection, because it was me calling, it was not the contractor. When he came, he see mud on the stuff, and he was very upset. So
Did you receive, I'm sorry to interrupt, did you receive a stop work order?
No,
Okay.
no.
So you got this whole thing I'm gonna say probably more than halfway built already,
Yes.
and it's not in the right place.
Well, we had the drawing kept changing. The first time I was gonna do it straight, but because that I had,
Can I show you the drawings?
I've seen it. I have the aerials, I have 12 photographs.
because I had what's it thing called? The chimney. So because of the chimney, and I couldn't put the door there, so I have to go with the old ways of we were gonna do it, like the L shape. So because the L shape, the inspector didn't have a problem with it. But all of a sudden, he had a problem now after. It's just like, you know what? He got a little bit upset with the contractor. He said, I'm just sending you to zoning. It's not a really big deal, so because it's not really that much anyway. So it was just a little bit, after zoning approved it, then this is what he needs from me, from the paperwork. I just have to send him a letter. That's it.
What is the reason for this? What do you need this for? What's?
I'm doing a recreation room for my kids. I have little kids. I have my daughter.
They need an
10
outside entrance?
No, I'm doing a recreation room. I need an outside, a cellar entrance just in case there's a problem, because my kids gonna be running out. And then I'm trying to build a pool in the back because my daughter loves to swim, and plus I have little nieces and nephew, and I'm just creating a way for them when they come to play, so nothing can harm them. They can't go in the pool. They just could be going on the side.
So there's no way you could have put this in the back of the house with the pool?
No, because I have the pool's gonna.
Space. And a
I have
shed.
people come in here to give me measurement, and they give me a couple measurement, and they said this is the best spot for them to put the pool, and I could have a size, what that size I
So
told
let
you?
me stop you right there. What kind of pool are you thinking about putting?
In-ground pool.
In-ground pool. You'll probably need to come back here for that also.
I don't mind coming back here because I don't mind. But I'm doing it for the purpose of my child, because she loves
Let's
to
put the
swim.
carrot in front of the horse, though. Let's, you know,
I'm gonna try, as I said, I just need to do
I
things right.
understand, but, you know,
So
we're
that's
doing
the-
everything, you're asking for permission after you've already, you're three-quarters of the way through this thing.
It's not I'm asking permission. I already submit my plan to the building department. They approved everything. Everything was going smoothly. Then I changed my mind. I said, you know what? Let's do it straight, because I had a different contractor. And the contractor said, okay, you could have it done here. Think the guy was a cook, and then he ended up stealing my money, and it couldn't be done that way. So we have to go change it back to the old plan. I'm doing everything right, because I just like, before you do something, you have to present it to them. If they had an issue way before, they will address it to me way before, because I start from scratch and I worked it over to them.
The only objection here is 7.7 feet versus 10 feet. The zoning code asks for 10 feet, and the stair end up at 7.7, let's say 8 feet. So it's like 2 feet away from the property line, 2 feet less than the zoning code requests.
It's also the intention. What's the intention here? You know, what is this all about? That's what
My
we're trying.
intention to have a,
I'm not getting to your, but that's what we're trying to get to the bottom of, that's all. Because you have neighbors, and we all live in a neighborhood, we all just make sure everybody's doing the right thing. I'm not trying to give anybody a hard time or make you do what you don't want to do, but, you know, this guy asked for this, and the next guy asked for that, and everybody breaks the rules, and then nobody has to play, you know, by the rules.
I have no intention to break the rule,
Okay.
just for my.
Mr. Chairman, I have no further questions.
So I kind of have a question. I don't know if I can get, so where the stairs are currently, and you have the L shape at the bottom, what's the reason that the steps couldn't have been up against the house?
That's what I just said. It couldn't go up against the house because there's a chimney there, and there's a beam there. Because of the beam, they couldn't put the door there, the entrance door there. So that's why the architect said the best way is put it here and then do it that way, which would not create any problem because it's a fenced area. Nobody's gonna see it, and it's not gonna harm anybody.
You know, it's listed on the survey as concrete, that spot there, that,
I can't get up your house.
there's, but
I have
that's an actual chimney there?
Chimney? No.
There's two chimneys,
I have two chimneys.
one on either side.
One by the shed, right here.
Oh, there it is, oh.
And then there's another one I have to the back. That's where my family room is at. I have a,
On that side, yeah.
what's the thing
They're
called?
looking at
again?
the drawing.
Fireplace.
Yeah.
That side.
You can see the chimney right there. So the chimney, that's the chimney, it's in the way, yeah.
Yeah, that's where, it's right behind this fence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With a fireplace too, so it's,
Is that a chimney that go, and what is that chimney, what's the purpose of that chimney?
That chimney used, because I used to have oil, and I converted to gas.
Oh, it's for your heating, okay. Not a fireplace?
as well?
I have a fireplace on the other side, that side. Oh, not this one,
Yeah.
the other one.
You have a chimney for that as well?
Yes.
Yeah, I have a chimney for it too.
So you have two?
Two.
Yes, right back there.
that's,
Yes, there it is.
okay, any other questions from the board? Would anyone like to be heard on this application? For the record, there are none. We're going to close the hearing. We're going to reserve decision. You'll get the decision in a minute. Thank you.
Okay.
Next application is application 23-145 of Marta Ramatowski.
Good evening. Yes, my name is Marta Ramatowski, 9 East Merritt Street, Londonhurst, New York, 11757.
Okay, and you affirm to tell the truth?
Yes.
Okay. You've been paying attention while you've been sitting here, huh? For the record, we have a Planning Division memo dated October 6, 2023. Environmental control memo dated October 10th, 2023. If approved, this application will not result in significant impact. A survey by Long Island, Land Survey, Long Island,
Correct.
Ward Brooks, Land Surveyor, dated January 6, 2023. Tax map acting as an area map. And
Mr. Chairman, we have 5 photographs and a arch form design.
Yes, so the situation was we were supposed to go up with the house, but the town was giving me a lot of problem. My roof was really leaking really badly, and I needed to close the roof as soon as possible. So I had inspector for everything, and we just need to maintain the existing outside cellar entrance.
Okay.
So there was a lot of back and forth since January with the town.
Huh?
Want me to read this, finish reading this?
Yeah, go ahead. Let him finish, okay?
Matowski residence, architect Sebastian Tuskowski, dated January 18th, 2023, along with four photographs.
Okay. Now, what would you like to tell us about the application?
Yes, so basically it was a lot of back and forward. I was trying to go up with the house to make the second floor because I wanted a brand new house. But because of a lot of issues with the town saying that they basically didn't like my floor plan and all of that, we tried to change it. We're going back and forward, and the rains were starting to come. And my roof was leaking so badly, and I was freaking out that everything that I already have, my sheetrock is gonna get ruined, and everything, it's gonna get ruined. So we came into the town. We put in an application for the roof. Overhang. They approved it, I did the roof, and I just need to maintain the outside entrance, existing outside entrance.
Okay, turn the hearing over to Mr. Rigney.
So the work is done already? The
Everything
roof
is done.
overhang is already done, it's not being proposed, it's already constructed?
Correct.
Okay, and that stayed in line with what you had?
Everything up to code.
And you agree not to enclose that? That's not gonna be enclosed, right? That's gonna remain open?
Yeah, it's just the roof, and it's gonna have
And it's
railing.
gonna stay like that,
That's
right?
it, yes.
We put the railing.
Right.
Yeah,
but you're
3
not
feet
gonna-
railing.
Okay, and it stays like that?
Yes, stay like that, yeah.
And with the cellar entrance, how long ago was that installed?
We buy like this.
It was
bought-
bought like this. We
Not just renovate.
with basically what we did, we took off the old concrete, not the old concrete.
Just,
We
we
put
put the new railing and that's
Hold
it.
on. I need your name and address if you're gonna talk.
Tadeusz Szamotowski.
He's the owner too.
Okay.
So it was there when you purchased the house?
Correct.
You just refaced it and made it more appealing?
Correct.
And how long you guys live there now?
It's gonna be,
2 years.
it's almost 2 years.
And the basement's unfinished?
No,
Yes.
not finished.
Unfinished,
Right, and it's gonna
Yes.
stay unfinished?
correct.
Okay, so what's down there? Just
Storage.
utility room, storage,
Only the storage.
Bicycles and stuff like that,
and it's gonna remain unfinished, right?
correct. I had the inspector in the house and everything, so he agreed on everything.
I think I have no further questions.
Any other questions from the board? Would anyone like to be heard on this application? For the record, there are none. We're going to close the hearing, reserve decision. You'll get the decision in the mail. Thanks for coming down.
Perfect, thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Tadeusz, that's my husband.
Yes,
Thank you.
thank you.
You're not allowed to talk. Next application is application 23-143 of Paul D. and Susan R. Hodgkinson, property located in West Babylon.
Good evening.
Can't do that to me.
Sorry.
Name and address for the record.
Kelly Bennett, 1257 Udall Road, Bay Shore, New York, 11706.
Do you affirm to tell the truth?
I do.
For the record, we have a Planning Division memo dated October 10th, 2023. Environmental Control memo dated October 10th, 2023. If approved, this application will not result in significant impact. The survey by Jason Lettingham dated September 22nd, 2022. Tax map acting as an area map, and
Mr. Chairman, we have 11 photographs and from architect James Design Services dated May 24th, 2023, a set of drawings.
would you like to tell us about the application?
I'm here tonight on behalf of Mr. Hodgkinson, who is the owner of 89 Kellum Street. He's actually owned the property since 1989. So this is kind of an exciting application, at least for us, but the property is located on the north side of Kellum Street, 225 feet west of Junction Street. It's located in residential C zone. It's a 7,500 square foot lot, so in relation to the other residential lots near it, it is one of the larger lots. Unfortunately, for Mr. Hodgkinson, he does have a very diminished existing front yard setback right now to the existing dwelling. So we are proposing a very beautiful second-story addition. This is for an accessory apartment for his daughter Stephanie as she starts her family. So that was the intention with this application the whole time when we were designing it. And also, I mean, I was kind of impressed. We managed to make this work and just only request 2 variances, which I just wanted the board to know we really did pay special attention to detail this whole time, knowing that we'd be here one night. So we are proposing, again, the second-story addition for the accessory apartment application that's already been filed for. We did address the planning department comments from Matt Esposito. We have revised the plan showing 2 proposed bedrooms upstairs and maintaining the 3 existing bedrooms downstairs to comply with the number of bedrooms. So again, the existing front yard setback is 19.9. What we are proposing is a 3-by-6 roof over the front stoop. So that is what's triggering the request of the 16 feet. I just wanted to note to the board that the survey was done by Scalise. He did prepare an average front yard setback on his survey. We didn't request that as the town doesn't follow that. But what I wanted to bring up in his, in case you guys review that, because he's saying the average front yard setback is 33, I think he said 33.5. So he's including that corner commercial property that's located in Business E. I think it's the BP gas station. So he included a 60-foot front yard in that average. So again, the house was CO'd with the detached garage built in 1941. So it's more of a non-conforming lot than some of the other. There's one high ranch directly west of, I believe it's the first residential property after the BP. You know, the newer ones seem to have maintained a better setback. And it is interesting, the house next to Mr. Hodgkinson, I took extra photos for you guys today. It's covered by trees, but when you're standing in line, it almost looks like those 3 homes are in line, 89 and the one both to the west and east. So I did take some other pictures from the board just to note the property is located within a 200-foot radius of 109. So you actually have a really interesting view right through West Babylon Bagel. I don't know if any of you are familiar with that location, but Mr. Hodgkinson's property pretty much faces, you know, a stockade fence behind the bagel store. You could get a little glimpse of his current house. You see the blue house there. So, you know, just again to note that directly across the street is, again, that business and vacant land. So we don't really I don't foresee anyone else being in this position to be requesting this kind of front yard setback. We would agree to all of the other conditions or recommendations from the planning memo. The second-story screened-in deck is very important to his daughter to have her own kind of outdoor space. We would agree that below never be enclosed and that the screened-in porch never be finished, heated, or turned in. It is really for that outdoor space for them, so it would remain screened in. Do you guys like that? Did you guys see the plans? It's really beautiful. So I did have the revised plan showing the bedrooms. This I was going to be giving to building, but if the board wanted a set, I could submit this. And I'll leave you guys some of the photos that I took today.
All right. Okay, turn hearing on to Ms. McCullough.
All right, so the accessory apartment is going to be upstairs,
Yes.
second floor.
Yep, so we designed the stairway, so it looks like really pretty from the front. It's the windows, but that's their entryway up to the apartment.
Okay, so there is
So
an
it's part of the
internal.
two-story addition, yeah.
Okay. I want to make sure there's internal access. And the second-story deck is just to have, so she has some personal space.
Some personal space. Yeah, they're starting a family. They're very excited, and, you know, this is the way to make it work for them, and they've been working very hard for a very long time to do this.
Okay. And all other covenants and restrictions, front portico not being closed, accessory apartment be maintained for as long as the second kitchen exists?
Yes.
And you are aware that it has to be renewed every 3 years?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Second-story deck not being closed, you agreed?
And underneath, the underneath area not be enclosed.
As
and
well.
as well as the screened.
Perfect. The second-story deck not have heating or plumbing?
Yes.
Perfect. And the basement to be converted to unfinished space?
Yes, that's what.
That's what it is?
Yep.
Perfect, we're going to maintain that. Okay, I have no further questions.
Any other questions from the board?
Do you know if any of the other houses on the block have a similar 16-foot setback?
No, so like I was saying to you, if you look through the pictures and if you Google Earth It itself,
Yeah, I mean, like, as of Google Earth here, it already looks like it's the closest setback, you know, just in that vicinity of block.
it definitely is. And the only two properties that have a very similar situation are the both properties to each side.
Yeah, with the portico, it's gonna come out even further, no?
So it's the roof over that existing stoop. I mean, 3 feet it's literally just to get the coverage. We could still, design-wise, we could do a dummy reverse and keep it, you know, flush to the house, but it really was just to get them coverage over the stoop. I mean, I don't know if you guys did your drive-by, but it's like 2 steps, very shallow, small steps right now. So we're just doing a standard stoop, so that was as small as we could really go. It's 18 square feet.
Would anyone like to be heard on this application? For the record, there are none? Yes, thank you.
All right, I make a motion to approve application 23-143 with the conditions agreed upon.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Good luck.
Thank you. Good night.
Thank you.
Yep. Yes. I'll be in first thing in the morning.
Thank you.
Next application is application 23-148 of Adam Salvernini, property located in West Babylon. The back. Name and address for the record.
Kelly Bennett, 1257 Udall Road, Bayshore, New York, 11706.
Okay, and do you affirm to tell the truth?
Yes, I do.
For the record, we have a planning division memo dated October 11th, 2023. Environmental control memo dated October 10th, 2023. If approved, this application will not result in significant impact. Survey by William Hogan dated February 27th, 2023. And that same survey has what all the changes are and where they are, just to kind of, I guess, help us out. Tax map acting as an area map, and Mr.
Chairman, we have 5 photographs and 2 sets of drawings by JM Design dated 5/24/23 and 6/28/23.
Would you like to tell us about the application?
Well, we are here for a two-story addition and second-story addition. This is to gain a two-car garage and a master bedroom upstairs. It's a very tiny house. Right now, there's one small bedroom downstairs and the 2 boys upstairs. So this gets the parents the master suite that they've always wanted with some closets. There is a long list of requested reliefs for this one from a lot of existing conditions. There is a rear shed. We are over in lot coverage. We're pretty much asking for everything, and a lot of that is with the existing conditions. He does have an in-ground pool. So the actual scope of proposed work, going back to the request to increase the area for a garage to be over in the 500 square feet, it kind of came up because what we want, the goal is to square off the back of the house. Right now, there's a cantilever back there, so it really was to gain the square footage in the master for them, for some storage and closet space. So rather than keeping that garage kind of stepped in, we took it out that extra couple of feet to, have the rear of the house be flush, and that's what put us over the 500 square feet for the garage. The other item is the homeowner does have a preference and request, does have a really beautiful lifted pickup truck, and he would love an 8-foot garage door height. Again, this is for the internal garage. So basically, that is the scope of this proposed project. The property is extremely well-kept and improved. It's really beautiful. The front elevation looks great, so it gets them the master over that existing garage and another garage. So his pavers obviously are a huge thing with his lot coverage issue. We did propose that those be cut back to maintain the necessary 2 feet.
Okay, turn the hearing over to Ms. McCullough.
Yeah, it is a really well-maintained property.
Yeah, it's beautiful, but
It's extremely busy as well, though.
yes.
Definitely not loving the height for the garage.
Okay.
There's more than enough space in the driveway. If it can't fit there, if we're already going to allow you to expand the size of it opposed to the height. What about the shed back there? Is that storage for the pool stuff?
It is, and it's a really well-built, oversized shed. So, yeah, that would be a tough one to definitely agree to, if anything happened to it, maintain and necessary. But that is a pretty well-built, oversized shed.
Do you know when it was constructed?
I do have that written down. I want to say late 2000s. I think he might have said 2009. I could see if I could find the date for you.
Is that when the pool
might
was
not have it.
constructed as well?
I can't remember exactly. I had a copy of the permit, because the pool's all CO'd and closed out. Our proposed application for the addition is what brought up everything, else. So I'm really not exactly sure of the year, so I probably shouldn't say.
Okay.
Did we have to, oh my goodness. Katie, thank you. So that was what came up then for our addition as well. I think he might have applied, never followed through, so we did maintain, you're correct in that. So the pool is also adding to his lot coverage as well. That's in our calculations. The proposed, addition itself, living square foot, is pretty well minimal. So it's 352 square feet of living space, and then another 200 feet over the garage. So they're getting like an extra, nice 500 square feet of living space upstairs. It was a request, so, if he didn't ask.
How high is the garage ceiling? If
Let
it's
me
an
see if
8-foot
there's a
door,
It's the door that he was, it's not the internal height that he was, but let me see if they have that labeled on the plans. We don't have a ceiling height on here.
is there a truck?
But I know it can't be that because we're going over it with the so it's not any kind of, vaulted. It probably is gonna be a standard.
It's an 8-foot ceiling, it's an
Exactly.
8-foot door.
Yeah,
I mean, if the truck is not vaulted or lifted or anything, the truck will fit through a 7-foot door.
yeah, his is lifted. That was why he was asking.
To what degree? I mean, it's, most clearances in garages and things like that are 7 foot.
And like we said, we had to ask, it was his, it was the homeowner's preference, so we initially started out with a 7-foot door, and then he, that was a request, so we did amend the plans. And then we kicked that garage out the back to square off the house, so. If they don't get approved for that, they'd have to follow code and, go with the 7-foot.
Okay. So he'd be willing to continue with a 7-foot door?
He wouldn't have much of a choice.
Aside from the pavers, is there anything else back there, any structures or anything that can be removed? Or,
I started with the 2-foot to at least, show good faith and
Yeah.
do the right thing and meet requirements. We could go back to him and ask him if there's any other area of the paving that could be given up or taken out.
yeah,
This right here.
they have a little, looks like a green area back there. What is that?
Putting green?
Yeah, it looks like they have a little,
It looks like.
I didn't see anything when I was there, and there's nothing noted on the survey. Let me see.
There's nothing on the survey, right?
And they have that roof over in the rear. That was the other item.
Nothing further.
Yeah, probably something for the kids.
yeah.
There's some goalie nets in my pictures of the shed. I don't see the putting green.
Agree to not further enclose the deck?
Yes.
Oh, man.
We could absolutely, go back to the property owner, revisit the paving situation, and submit maybe a revised plot plan or something, see how far down we could get some square footage.
Some numbers, yeah, absolutely. I would love that. All right.
They would agree to that.
Any other questions from the board? Would anyone like to be heard on this application? For the record, there are none. Okay. We're going to close the hearing, reserve decision. You get the decision in the mail. Thank you.
We're gonna leave it open.
Yeah, we'll leave the record open. Is this the other one?
Perfect. Thank you all for your time.
I will just-
Katie, I'll see you tomorrow. Thanks.
No more, Cal? No more?
Next application is application 23168 of Dunright Auto Collision, property located in Deer Park. Name and
Anthony-
address for the record.
Anthony Baracco, 285 Bay Shore Road, Deer Park.
And do you affirm to tell the truth?
Yes.
For the record, we have a Planning Division memo dated October 6, 2023, Environmental Control memo dated October 10, 2023. If approved, this application will not result in significant impact. Fire Marshal's report dated October 19, 2023. There are no violations. A survey by Jerome Demaro dated January 16, 1976. Tax map acting as an area map.
And Mr. Chairman, we have 5 photos and a site plan by Charles Giovanni dated July 1977.
Okay. What would you like to tell us about the application?
Every 3 years, we have to renew it. Hopefully, I could extend it to 5 years. I've been doing business in the town of Babylon for 25 years. We have a clean operation. I don't know what else to say.
Okay. Turn the hearing over to Mr. Kretschmer.
Good.
I went by there today. Your operation is always clean. It's always operating.
Thank you.
The only concern we have is outside storage. You're not zoned for outside storage. I see that there was a lot of cars there today, which is normal operating condition. You need to, but in the evenings, is it possible to keep everything inside for storage?
Yes.
So that would be, the front area would be accessible, and maybe we could just make it a little bit more accessible if someone needed to pull in to get an estimate or something like that. They'd have.
During the day, you're saying?
Excuse me?
During the day?
During the day, yeah. You know, just a little bit more accessible.
Yeah, we always try to keep it clean or put more cars inside, and so the outside's not cluttered, but just trying to do the best for everybody.
Right. And but in the evenings at closing, everything goes inside?
Yes.
Okay. So the only thing that would be outside would be an emergency collision or a 24-hour drop-off or something.
Exactly, exactly.
Mr. Chairman, I have no further questions.
Any other questions from the board? Would anyone like to be heard on this application? For the record, there are none. Okay, we got to hold this for Suffolk County Planning, so we can't move the application tonight, but
Is that
we'll have
something
that
that
by
we
then.
have to do, or?
No. We'll get that from them, and then we can move on the
Okay.
application, okay?
You'll get the decision now.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
Next application is application 23163 of Winter Brothers Waste, property located in West Babylon. Name and address for the record.
Mr. Chairman, Mark Cuthbertson, 434 New York Avenue, Huntington, New York, 11743, and I'm joined tonight by Michael White, who is General Counsel to Winters Brothers.
For the record, we have a Planning Division memo dated October 11th, 2023. A zoning board application 18116. We approved all of the variances except number 1, which was approved for 5 years. Department of Environmental Control memo dated October 10th, 2023. Suffolk. Fire Marshal's report dated October 19, 2023 has a valid permit. Site plan by, somebody. Eugene Kemphy, dated May 19th, 23. This is a final survey by John Robinson dated September 5th, 2003. Tax map acting as an area map.
And Mr. Chairman, we have 4 photographs and this, and again, the final survey dated September 5th, 2003 by John A. Robinson.
What would you like to tell us about the application?
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, members of the board, this is a renewal of a special use permit for a transfer station. The transfer station involves municipal solid waste. Obviously, not obviously, it's critical to the flow of garbage in the town of Babylon. So solid waste comes here, is processed, and then is shipped out. There were issues in the past with respect to odor, and those issues were addressed by enclosing a large section of the space, putting in a high-speed door so the door opens and closes very quickly, and odor has less of a chance to get out, and then also misting systems within the facility to dampen the odor. So the good news is that I believe it has operated without any incident or complaint for many years now. So we are just seeking a renewal for this particular facility.
Okay. So the 8 conditions here, all of this is in place and working if you look on the planning memo?
Yes.
Everything's good there. And basically, the operation is the same as it's been all along?
Yes.
Okay. All right, I have no further questions. Any other questions from the board? Would anyone like to be heard on this application? Okay, we have no Suffolk County planning on this, so
Okay.
we're going to have to hold it for that.
Very good.
Okay, so we're going to close the hearing. We're going to reserve decision, keep the record open for the Suffolk County planning memo.
Thank you. Have a good night.
You too.
Thank you.
Ready?
After you.
Name and address for the record. Oh, I'm sorry. Application 23-149 of Happy Days Dispensary, property located in Farmingdale. Name and address for the record.
Yes, thank you. Bram Weber, Weber Law Group, 290 Broad Hollow Road, Melville, New York, for the applicant. If I may, I have some exhibits.
Okay, you can hand those up. I'll start reading this stuff in. Okay, we have a planning division memo dated October 11, 2023. Suffolk Board of Appeals, application 06476, approved as amended based on the plan submitted. Not sure what this was for at the time. Environmental control memo dated October 10, 2023. If we were to approve this application, it would need a negative declaration. Fire Marshal's report dated September 28, 2023. There are a bunch of things on this fire. You have a copy of that Fire Marshal report?
Yes,
Okay, so there's a number of items on there. that
I can
need to
address,
be
yeah, I'll address
taken.
that.
Okay. Let's see what else we got here. We got survey, I guess a survey by Harold Bausch. Dated, no date. Okay. We have a floor plan, undated, unstamped. Okay, I guess this is a site plan, oh yeah, site plan, by John Capitano, dated July 31st, 2023. Tax map acting as an area map, and just handed up a operational narrative of the application. And Town of Babylon, employment, my pleasure to write this letter to support on behalf of Lee Grossman. Okay. Okay, what else we got?
18 photos, Mr. Chairman. I'll leave it at that.
And item number 4 in the correspondence. You're overwhelming us with paperwork.
I don't know what item number 4 is. I'm eagerly anticipating to find out what that is. I don't know if that's good or bad. Understood. Thank you, Counsel.
Oh, okay. Okay, what would you like to tell us about the application?
Let the record reflect we have not brought free samples for everybody.
Denied.
So, good evening. This is application of Happy Days Dispensary for property located at 105 Route 109 in Farmingdale for a retail cannabis dispensary pursuant to town code. With me this evening, I have the principals of the operation, Paul Lepore, Jay Grossman, and Keith Hart. Just by way of background, Mr. Lepore has more than 10 years in the cannabis industry, roles such as a consultant and advisor to growers in New York State and retail locations throughout the United States. He is the license holder approved by New York State. Mr. Grossman and Mr. Hart have experience with retail and hospitality businesses, and all three of them are involved in various different charitable organizations, including Gift of Life International, which provides heart surgeries worldwide to children, and the Long Island Hospitality Ball, which benefits the Carol Baldwin Breast Cancer Research Fund. So these gentlemen are ingrained in our communities, in our charities, and in our successful businessmen in their own right. And as I said, licensed to open this retail dispensary in the town. The application is for a 5,225 square foot retail store. I've handed out a few exhibits to you, one of which is the floor plan and site plan for the location, one of which is also the exterior renderings of how the building will be renovated. This is taking up part of the current location, which had this part of the building had previously been a retail store, and will now continue as a retail store. It is in a G industrial property, zone property, which is required by town code. It meets all of the town requirements for a retail cannabis location. It requires no variances. If you want to look at the floor plan, it is a standard retail operation. The floor plan shows you basically how the retail operation will be situated. There's a reception area where security will check the identifications, the photographic identifications of those who are entering. There is a requirement to be 21 years old to enter. So security will check the IDs in the reception area, and then customers can walk in through the retail. To the right-hand side, you'll see basically the shaded area are where the registers will be, and it will operate like a regular retail store. There will be curbside delivery. The site plan reflects 3 parking spaces for curbside delivery. The product will be brought to, just like any other curbside retail operation, the product will be brought by an employee to those cars waiting there. The product will be purchased for curbside delivery through the website or an app that the store will have. All of it will be credit card payments and paid for in advance. Each product, whether sold inside the building or outside the building, is scanned for inventory and quality control. As I said, there'll be security, 2 security guards during most operating hours, one inside the retail portion of the building and one in reception to check IDs. 2 things I just wanted to make mention of before, if you have any questions. One is the applicant's exhibit number 4, which is the Town of Babylon letter of support to the state in support of the license for this location. There's one sentence I want to call to your attention on this page 2. It says, this letter should be viewed as Babylon's unequivocal support of Jay Grossman, who's one of the principals, application, and as an indication that the proposed dispensary is appropriately located or otherwise suitable for activities related to the retail sale of authorized cannabis products. That's a letter of support that came from the Deputy Supervisor to New York State. And according to Newsday, the Town of Babylon will see $300,000 of revenue from 1 quarter, that's quarter number 3 of 2023, from the existing retail dispensary in the town. These retail products have a 3% sales tax surcharge on them, and that money comes directly to the town. So the town's looking at over $1 million a year in revenue from the current location. Certainly, that'll be additive this location. So with that, that's my presentation.
Okay. So just talk to us about the drive-through, I guess, or whatever. How's
So it's
that
not
going?
drive-through, it's
Not
curbside.
Curbside. Okay.
So if you look at Exhibit 2, which is the site plan, it says, so if you look at the shaded area, right, it says area of existing building to be converted for the proposed retail. If you look directly above that, there are 3 spaces for curbside pickup. So like whether it's Target or a restaurant, any other type of retail operation, someone will order in advance, come in, sit in their car, and an employee will bring the product out. As I said, it'll be prepaid, so there'll be no economic transaction. It'll be prepaid for. The employee will come out, scan the ID of the purchaser, because there can be no second-party people picking up. It's got to be the purchaser, him or herself. They'll scan the ID, they'll scan the product, and they'll give it to the person in the curbside pickup. I also just want to state, Mr. Chairman, since you asked, I provided as applicant's exhibit number 3, the operational narrative for the business, and the curbside pickup is described in that section.
Okay. And they have to prove who they are. It can't just be somebody randomly picking it up. It has to
Correct.
be the individual. whoever
Yes.
they are. Okay, and so you're only here for a special exception permit. There are no actual area variances being asked for, right?
That is correct.
How about hours of operation?
Sure. So the hours of operation are also listed, and they're put, I know I just handed it to you, so I'm just letting you know, we put them in for the record. But they are basically 10 to 8 Monday through Saturday, and 12 to 6 on Sunday.
Okay.
You got to page 49?
And you would agree that there would be no consumption of the product on site?
Yes, correct. That's actually a requirement of New York State as well.
Is it?
Yes.
Okay.
I've learned a lot about this.
I guess. Yeah, I guess we all are. Okay. Any other questions from the board?
Yeah, I'm happy to address that because I've spoken to the representatives of the property owner. Thank you. So yes, those open violations are for the neighboring tenant from the building. My understanding is that there were 2, 1 code enforcement, 1 fire. The permit for the work for the fire, sprinkler and curative work for that violation has been picked up by the contractor, and that the code enforcement violation has been satisfied. All of it will be, my understanding is, inspected at the same time. So they're open but being worked on according to the representative of the property owner.
So you'll get back to us with that information and everything is taken care of? Plus the fire marshal's report, you got some issues there that need to be cleared up?
Yeah, those are all being cleared up now, and they'll be cleared up in connection during this construction for this retail location. We'll make sure that the property owner and the tenant address the other open violations they have.
Okay, so you'll get a hold of the fire marshal, get him back there, and we'll straighten out. Yeah, well, if we're gonna approve this, we're gonna wait for stuff. Okay, would anyone like to be heard on this application? A lot of people, nobody's here. Okay, we're gonna close the hearing, we're gonna reserve decision.
If I may make just one request, the recommendation from the town is for a 1-year, and we certainly understand that the town would like to make sure that this operation certainly complies with code and operates in a clean and efficient manner. We would ask for a 3-year special permit, but we would agree to an obligation to come back to this board and report in a year for basically a yearly review. We'd just like this special exception approval to be for 3 years, but we will come back. I could write a letter in 60 days before the anniversary and come back and we can revisit the application and make sure the business is operating. That's a request we have.
So you would come back each year and report back to the board?
We'll come back after year 1, and yes.
But you're asking for a 3-year
Correct.
approval?
Please, yes, that's a request.
Yeah, so what's, I'm a little confused, so what difference does it make if you come back on
Because the special exception would be for 3 years, so the approval would be for 3 years, but we would come back and report basically of our own volition, at least after year one, we would come in, and then we would have 2 more years after that as part of the special exception.
Okay, we'll take it under advisement, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, we're going to close the hearing, we're going to reserve decision. We're waiting on fire marshal, so we'll keep the record open. All right, thank you. Jesus. Yeah, take that too. Yeah, have that, I'll put that there.
Lily.
Where are we going now?
Okay. Now what? Where am I here anyway?
That one?
I think I gave you all of this application or something. Oh, no, here it is.
You got it?
Oh, I got it. Okay, next application is application 23171 of Boss Auto Sales and Company, property located in West Babylon.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. Keith Brown, Altman DeLeo, 538 Broad Hollow Road, Suite 301 West, Melville, New York, 11747. I'm here tonight with respect to the application of Boss Auto Sales,
Hello?
Inc. Yes,
Let me read this stuff in.
go ahead.
For the record, we have a planning division memo dated October 16, 2023. A environmental control memo dated October 10, 2023. If approved, this application will not result in significant impact. A fire marshal's report dated October 19, 2023. Building is boarded up and locked. Does not appear to be operational. So you would have to get the fire marshal there to inspect. A survey by Jason Lettingham dated 12/16/21. A tax map acting as an area map.
And, Mr. Chairman, we have a site plan dated December 9th, 2021, and 2 photographs.
And we have a site plan.
Same thing.
Same thing?
Yep, same thing as this.
Okay, okay.
Here's your pictures.
Pictures.
Okay. I'm ready. Pass that down.
Thank you.
So you're going to bring the baby to zoning board like that?
Absolutely.
Okay, Karen's watching.
Absolutely.
Okay, what would you like to tell us about the application?
Terrific. So I was about to say that we're here for a special exception permit and an area variance for the property located at 450 Wyandanch Avenue, West Babylon. I want to thank you for the opportunity to make this presentation tonight. As a matter of housekeeping, all public notice postings for this hearing was performed in accordance with the town code. Proof of public hearing and posting was submitted to the town CBA in advance of tonight's hearing. With me tonight, I have Mr. Mike Rubenstein, our project engineer who prepared the site plan. I also have Mr. Sean Mulryan to my left, our traffic safety expert of Mulryan Engineering PC. I also have Mr. Nick Yetton, who is the principal and the operator of Boss Auto Sales at the location. By way of background, the property is located on the southwest corner of Wyandanch Avenue and Belmont Avenue. The property is located within the town's GA Light Industrial Zoning District. To the northeast of the property is a gasoline service station with an accessory convenience store. To the northwest is the Belmont Villas Senior Apartments. Abutting the property to the west is an industrial building used by an air conditioning contractor. Further to the west are several other industrial buildings on the north and south side of Wyandanch Avenue. And abutting the property to the south is vacant land with dense vegetation. Apart from the senior apartments to the northwest, the surrounding properties are all located in the light industrial zoning district. The property is approximately 21,388 square feet in area and is currently improved with a one-story masonry building. The property has historically been used as a public garage with sales of automobiles and outdoor storage of automobiles. The outdoor storage is used for vehicles on display for sale as well as vehicles being repaired. On September 19th of 2014, this board previously approved a special exception permit for the expansion of the public garage, auto sales, and auto repair at the property, as well as other requested variances. A copy of that prior ZBA approval has been submitted as part of my package to you as Exhibit 1. On July 17th of this year, my birthday, the Town Planning Board approved an application to legally maintain the existing site and building for use as a public garage, retail sales of automobiles, or outdoor storage of vehicles, along with associated site improvements. A copy of that Planning Board approval has been submitted as Exhibit 2 in the packet that I handed up. We are here tonight to request the following relief: special exception permit to allow public garage for repairs, auto sales, and display. 2, to permit a total of 7 parking stalls where a minimum of 12 are required, which I'll explain in a moment. 3, to permit 16 stalls for outdoor storage, vehicles for sale, and cars awaiting repair in the front yard where the same is not permitted, which is kind of strange to me. I would always think you'd want auto sales in the front yard so other drivers can see them. And 4, to permit auto storage in the front yard without a fence where the same is not permitted without a 6-foot-high fence. In connection with tonight's hearing, the Town Planning Division has prepared a memo for the board review dated October 16th of 2023. We have reviewed that memo and we have no objections. We noted that the staff raised no objections to the instant application, recommended 1-year approval subject to the conditions listed therein. It should be noted that with respect to the prior zoning approvals, when we were retained by the client, he indicated to me that he was somewhat misled by the prior approvals. Nick is not a national of this country. He has emigrated here, and he really was kind of ignorant of the local zoning laws. He was led to believe that the original planning board and ZBA approvals were all that were required to operate the site legally. I quickly schooled him on the fact that he needed additional approvals in order to use this property in the manner in which he was using it. And since then has complied by removing all additional cars off the site, and the location has not been operated as a used car facility since that time. So with respect to the 2014 approvals, he did not obtain a building permit or a C of O, but with the team that he has assembled now, we fully endeavor on bringing us all the way to a C of O so he could operate the premises legally. Prior to our office's involvement, the town's Code Enforcement Division closed the property for not having a proper C of O. Given the date of the original issued approvals, all prior approvals were considered to have lapsed. Thus, the applicant was required to restart the zoning approval process with an application to the Town Planning Board, which brings us to tonight's hearing. With the assistance of Mr. Rubenstein, our office was able to secure the Planning Board's approval of the improved site. We submit that the benefit of redeveloping the property cannot be achieved without the grant of the variance relief. The requested variances are necessitated by the size, shape, and use of the property, which are inherent in nature and peculiar to the same. I just want to note, too, that I was actually looking, we were discussing the site the other day in preparation for tonight, and I looked at the recommendations on the internet, and all the recommendations, he actually gets a 4.3 out of 5 stars for the operation of his business. That was worth noting. So we asked this honorable board to take note of the fact that the site has been designed in a manner that best utilizes the property for its intended purposes as an auto sales use with repair service and an overnight storage. The site plan also provides for safe and efficient flow of on-site traffic. Given the spatial limitations of the property and the frontages along Wyandanch Avenue and Gate Street, compliance with the existing zoning regulations regarding outdoor storage of vehicles in the front yard is simply not feasible. The location of the one-story building in the center of the parcel leaves no other available space for the display of vehicles other than in the front yard. Relocation of these stalls would require a complete site redesign and would require probably additional variance relief. Similarly, the code's requirement to add fencing around the vehicles parked in the front yard would reduce visibility of the site along both street frontages. Display of vehicles, which is paramount to the operation of the site, in the front yard is vital for the economic success of the business, as I indicated before. The requested variance to permit outdoor storage of vehicles for car sales and cars awaiting repair in the front yard is mitigated by the fact that the property will operate as an auto repair and sales use. Outdoor storage of such vehicles is commonplace for the proposed use and is necessary for the operation of the business. The variance from the fencing requirement is not substantial given the industrial character of the surrounding area and the type of use proposed at the property. And although the property is deficient by the number of parking stalls provided, our traffic engineer, Mr. Mulryan, has found that a typical car dealership of this size will generate less than 5 parking stalls during the peak period. Accordingly, the 7 stalls provided is sufficient to meet this demand, and as such, the board should it see fit to approve the requested parking variance. A copy of the traffic report prepared by Mulryan Engineering PC has been included in the exhibit package as Exhibit 3. So that really gives you a good overview of why we're here. If you'd like to have Mr. Rubenstein go through the site plan, I think it's rather self-explanatory. The shaded areas you may want to know are for the outdoor storage spaces. You can see on the top of the image, there's 2 handicap stalls that is for the office use. So anybody who wants to come in to go inside of the office, either for the auto repair or the sales can do so in the front, and that's accessible for people that are handicapped or otherwise wheelchair bound. And in the rear of the property, you can see the 5 stalls indicated in white are also for parking specifically for the office use too. That really sums it up. If you'd like to hear, Mr. Mulryan's report is part of the package. You know, I don't want to belabor the point, it's kind of late at night, but if you would like, you could hear from both of them their full testimony. It's up to the board.
I don't think so. That's part of this package, right? So.
Yes, sir.
All right. I'll turn the hearing over to Ms. McCullough.
All right, so the current owner was the owner at the time of the approvals, you said?
Of the 2014.
2014 approvals?
Yes.
Same.
Correct, right?
Yeah, so he wasn't aware that he needed a building permit and to renew the approval?
I'll say it this way, he wasn't sophisticated enough to know exactly what he needed to do after he got the zoning approvals, and we have educated him on the process now.
And when were you guys retained?
Probably 3-4 months ago.
4 months ago. Do you know when code enforcement visited the property and boarded it up?
Right after we were retained.
Right after,
Yes.
okay.
The code enforcement came in, we were retained shortly thereafter.
Understood. He's just been operating for pretty much 10 years.
Right. I will say this, it has been closed since then, and that's why we would ask, I actually have a copy of the building permit. We're ready to roll from this point forward. You know, we've worked very closely with the planning department. This plan has gone through a number of iterations with the planning department. So this is really a well-vetted plan after all that. I've explained to Nick, and he knows under no uncertain terms, that he cannot put another row of cars behind the row that's approved, and that he can have no more than, I think I totaled it up, 27 cars total on the site. That's it. No more. If he does, he'll be subject to code enforcement violations.
Okay. So you spoke of the reviews, which were great, as per what you have told me. Did you research the complaints
I did not.
that were made?
I did not. I will say this, there are some people here in support of Nick's application, so I'd like to have them address the board.
Yeah, they'll have their time. When it was first constructed and opened, it was a very well-maintained property. It has since, it's declined terrifically. So I just want to make sure that the property is well-maintained. All of the permits are adhered to, all of the covenants are followed, and I hope that you make sure the conditions, that you make sure that those are done.
Absolutely, and just I want to point out, the first condition is subject to standard public garage covenants and restrictions. So that is part of the 4 conditions that
Absolutely.
staff is recommending.
Yeah, and that was in place before too, but
Have they been filed with Suffolk County, the covenants and restrictions?
Not yet. We would need the approval of this board, and then we would endeavor to do that, sir.
Thank you.
Subject to approval by your counsel and the town attorney's office, I'm sure. Sure. Right, that's the storage of the vehicles. The total number I came up with was combining them all together. So this way we had an aggregate to know that you could, and I told him flat out, you can't have any more than this number of vehicles. So I did the breakdown, Counselor, and it is 14 plus 2, so 16 for sales, right, which corroborates with the staff recommendation number 3. And then 2 more for awaiting repair, and then a total of 7 for office use. So that total is 18, 25. And then I included the 2 in the repair shop, so 27 total. Not the 2 inside the shop, but the other ones are. Yeah, if you want to go back to the site plan, right. So you see 2 plus the 5 is the 7 for the office. And then around the front, you have 12 plus 2 plus 2. That's 16. So 16 plus the 5, right?
And how many staff will be there?
He has 3 employees.
For sales?
Sales manager, salesperson, and a repairman.
So he's got 1 repair guy in the shop?
Yes.
What about oils and stuff like that? Do they get service, taking motor oil and stuff out of there?
So, in terms of the repair, it's basically to service the cars to get them ready for resale. I'm sure there's a little bit of public work that you do for people.
We put them in a container.
Okay. So he follows New York State regulations when it comes to waste oil. All repair places have to have a place for waste oil, so it gets recycled.
I notice there's a lot of drainage too on that site, and the way it's kept, sometimes it's very sloppy, comes going down there and such.
Okay.
Does he have waste oil containment facilities like 55-gallon drums, or does he have a self-contained waste oil or fresh oil?
55-gallon drums.
Okay.
Does this thing pay?
And that's documented on waste removal, he has manifest for that?
Yes, sir.
Okay, very good.
So if I could, I'd like to bring up the people here in support of the application, Mr. Chairman. Thank you very much.
Would like to be heard on the application.
Good evening.
Name and address for the record, please.
My name is Wayne Dawes. I live at 11 Maple Street in Wyandanch for the past 25 years. I've been working for Nix for the past 3 years. I'm a tow truck operator. Also, I recommend, I live in a poor neighborhood, so the kids that came out high school, I recommend 2 guys who work at Burger King in Deer Park to get a car from Nick so they can drive to work and then go to Bosse's in the evening time. So I'm asking you if you could help him, that he could start his business open again. And right now my tow truck is down, as you can see. I was working on it today because I have no job. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Would anyone else like to be heard on this application? Name and address for the record.
109 Arizona Road, North Babylon. 109 Arizona Road, North Babylon, West Babylon, whatever. New York 11704.
What would you like to tell us about the application?
Yeah. I'm a tow truck driver, you know. He always send me out to pick up the cars, you know. I make money with them. So I would like to be on the business stay on, because if you stay on, you know, it's a progress. Because he give the people, you know, job, you know. He always is a good guy too. He can, you know, any problem, if you have it, he almost close to help you. So I would like the business going on. Okay?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Would anyone else like to be heard on this application? Name and address for the record, please.
Noel Charles. My address is 109 North Arizona Road, West Babylon.
Do you affirm to tell the truth?
Yes.
What would you like to tell us?
I would want this business to be open because this is my father, and he give my father like jobs and stuff like that, and I work with my father. So if he could keep the business open, it would be very useful to us because my dad, when he goes to work with him, he brings me on the jobs. And you know, I try to get jobs a lot of other places, but I'm fortunate to have a dad who has his own towing company. So I go to work with him, and I can make money with him. And I'm hoping if his business get open, I could get a car from there because I recently started driving myself.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Would anyone else like to be heard on this application?
Good evening.
Name and address for the record, please.
My name is Winston Lindsay. I live at 49 Clearview Drive in Wheatley Heights, New York, 11798.
Affirm to tell the truth.
Thank you, sir. I've been living in North Babylon. Prior to that, I was living in 537 Mount Avenue from 1974 to 2014. I raised my children, and my wife just passed away, so I moved with my daughter now. I've been knowing this man. Yeah, I bought 4 cars from him because he helped people a lot. As long as you have a job, he'll give you credit. A lot of people go to other car dealers and they don't get credit because the credit is not that great. But he check you out. If you have a job, he'll let you take the car and pay him, make easy payment. So I would have, asked if you could allow him to open up again so he can give people work to do.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Would anyone else like to be heard on this application? Name and address for the record.
Good evening,
please.
everyone. Name is Michael Gritz, 24608 Memphis Avenue, Queens, New York.
Do you affirm to tell the truth?
Yes.
What would you like to tell us?
First of all, I just want to say Nick is a fine gentleman. He has a heart of gold. He's really nice to people. And he does a service for the community because mass transit's a little tough out here, and people depend on. He's developed a rapport with people. Even if they don't have enough, they can do a payment plan. He shows a lot of consideration to people. And I know that some of the things that have to be done can be rectified. Once the place is up and running, it'll start to fall into place and get cleaned and all that. It's been a while, and his inventory is sitting here, and not good for the stuff because the tires and things like that. It's better to have it moving so he can go to auction and bring cars and have a flow. But basically what I'm saying, it was an existing business before, and it was running, and I know Nick would be happy just to rectify anything or any kind of things he would have to abide by, and he would be very helpful in accommodating. So, therefore, I would just like to say that it is a commercial place, and to give Nick the chance, it's been a long, drawn-out thing, and I would appreciate the people at the hearing to please accommodate him, and thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Okay.
Would anyone else like to be heard on this application? For the record, there are none. Anything else in closing? He needs fire marshal too. Yeah.
If I could, Mr. Chairman, the only thing I'd like to add is his business has been closed since last September. We understand why, but if there's any way that the board could see fit, that if you are to approve the application, if you could do so swiftly, this is where we can move on with the rest of the process and get him reopened. We would
So-
appreciate that.
Part of that's on you as far as the fire marshal goes.
Yes.
You got to get that to us before we can do anything with the application. We're also waiting on Suffolk County Planning, which we probably will have by next week.
Okay.
Normally, we do, so. Yeah, there was 4 conditions on the second page of the planning memo.
Mm-hmm.
So you agreed to all of those conditions?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, thank you. We're going to close the hearing, reserve decision. We're going to keep the record open for fire marshal and Suffolk County Planning, and we'll move it.
Thanks very much.
Thanks.
Have a
Thanks,
great
everybody,
evening.
for coming down. We appreciate it.
All right, thank you.
I will, we're going to end the live streaming of the meeting now and